um, how would you design an app to help people choose which cheese to buy at the grocery store?
Oh, interesting question. So to repeat your question is that I need to design a product to help people to pick cheese in the grocery store, right? Okay, so before diving into some details, I want to ask you some questions to make sure that I'm on the right direction. First one is what's the role of my PM from Meta or some startup, or I'm an entrepreneur?
You can feel free to define, you can be a product manager at Meta, you can also be an entrepreneur at a startup. What I really want to focus here is that you don't have any restraints in terms of how you want to design this product. If you think about yourself, have a lot of user data, just feel free to define that, but I don't really have any preference.
Okay, that's cool. So another thing is so because I'm not limited to a role, so I want to have no limitation on the human resources timeline and other things. Is that right? Okay, so the last question I would ask is that do you want me to build a digital product or non-tech product? Do you have preference on that?
We prefer it to be a digital product.
Okay. So first the question is that we would like to design a digital product to help people to choose the cheese at the grocery store. And yeah, that's a really good question, I think. So I want to answer this question from the four perspective. The first one is why we want to design such a product for our users, and which is from the business level and user level and some other high level. And then I will divide talk more about the users and then maybe solutions, and then based on the solutions I would like to prioritize, and then from there maybe talking about some metrics. So this will be the whole structure. Is that good to you?
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Okay. So the first thing I would like to say that cheese, pick up cheese from the grocery. So so it is very obvious that so the first thing I want to define is about the looking into the landscape, which maybe potentially help people to solve this problem. So the first one may be the native product of the groceries. We all know that the Giant Eagle and some the Walmart and big groceries, they have their own online shopping website or application. So maybe we can just partnership or building some extension to integrate with them to providing some product that is sufficed for them. This is the first kind of competitors, or yeah. The second one is because I assume this will be kind of a very niche product to help people to fulfill the need to find something in the grocery. So I'm not very sure that if we currently have this kind of product, but so I will have a question here. So can you give me more context or if you know there is current or existing product to offer this kind of service on the market?
Not that I know of. If it exists, it's probably not a great user experience. I've never used any product like this, so just feel free to design what experience you want to deliver to the users.
Okay, cool. Okay, so let's just assume that there is no existing service on the market. So this is a very the first one, or very creative tools we will build for our users. So so currently so before because this like question is very open-ended, so how about we tap into the user pain point first, or the like analyze the current user flow and the pain points, then we can maybe find more like business goal or business potential in this one. Yeah, so first one is like, let's say why people need to have some difficulty to finding some cheese in the grocery. The first one is that the grocery space is very big. Actually, it's very hard for people, especially the new people, especially the user or the people is new to the grocery or the area. So it will be more difficult for them to find something in a very large place, which is fulfilled with a lot of items. So the first one is like the space is very large and also very complex. And the second one is like, actually I would like to say that cheese, like the first step is to find the cheese, and the second step is to like decide or make a decision about the cheese, because we all know that there is bunch of like thousands of categories of cheese in the world, and even in the one groceries they have a lot of cheese. Like yeah, so the second step will be like how to make the right decision about the cheese. And so yeah, this is more about the yeah, this is more about like the second step. And the third step is, oh, I also have a question here, is that should we consider about the online experience, or we just like focus on the offsite experience?
It's up to you to define. But because you talk about the two reasons why it is difficult for users to choose cheese to buy, I just want you to focus on the second one more, because I don't think the first one is relevant to our questions. Our question is to help people choose which cheese to buy at a grocery store. So we can assume that the users already know which aisle or what is the place to find all those cheese. But it's just like they don't know which cheese to buy.
Oh, I see. So we can just narrow down here to like, they already knew where is like the cheese areas. That what we want to do is just we help them to make the right decision. Yeah, and to like help them to improve their experience. Oh, okay, that's cool. So the first, so if like the question is there, I would like to, it will be more clear for us to define the goal. So I would like to circle back to the like first the high level part here is our goal. I think it's our goal is very clear here, is just to help to increase the revenue of the grocery, because we have helped the customers to make the right decision, and there will be a much more possibility that they will be return users or return buyers to buy a cheese like time by times. So like our overall goal, I just want to define or narrow down is about revenue. Is that okay for you?
Yeah, makes sense. I'm just curious. You're talking about partnering with grocery stores. Basically, you want to earn more revenue from the grocery stores. I just want to know, why not cheese manufacturers?
Oh, actually, that's a good question. So, cheese factory. Yeah, I think I want to answer this question from like circle back to the original question, is that we want to like increase their experience at the grocery. So actually, this is like a very like base of like offsite space based on, it's a very like this scenario is really based on the experience inside or offsite in the grocery. So I think it will be more easier for us to like partnership with groceries, because we have skipped the cheese factory stage, because the user has like interacted with our product, which is a cheese inside the grocery. So it will be more directly for us to like build partnership with the groceries.
Okay, but do you see,
Yeah.
your product has having the opportunity to partner with the cheese manufacturer?
Definitely, I think I do not want to like answer this like very to like like theoretically say is we have no possibility. I think we need to like deliver our solution, and then we can say that which like partnership is more better for us.
Okay.
Okay. So go back to our overall goal is just that we want to increase the revenue, no matter like for the for ourselves or for the groceries, because if we partnership with them, we help them to increase their GMV, which is a gross which is a gross merchandise value. We can just like ask for the percentage of the revenue or value they gained from our like recommendation or our service. So that's very makes sense from the business level. Do you think that's okay?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay, so we have like defined our goal, and also I just want to probably I think here I want to like because this is like a very it's from like the product roadmap, because I'm thinking about that if we need to like build something from the scratch, or if I need to like define myself as a PM as a big tech, which is better for this product to help people to bring our end users value. So here I want to like more focus on, I prefer to build a product from the scratch, because my goal is to partnership with as more as groceries, like a lot of like Giant Eagle, Safeway, and Walmart, or even Trader Joe's, this kind of merchandise groceries. So I would like to say, if I'm a PM from a big tech, I want to integrate this kind of like function into the current product, like the Instagram or Facebook. It's not that makes sense. So I would like prefer to build a new product from the scratch. And also, I think it's very okay for us to like as a startup to build a new product, because it's very clear we have a like revenue stream, and we can know how to make money. So to ramp up about the like first one about the why of the on the high level, why should we build this product? Or the overall goal, our goal is just we want to like build a new like grocery choosing helper, choice helper, for our end users, to help them to make the like buying decision by partnership with the groceries and from the scratch as a new startup. So this is what will be the overall goal. And the second one, I will like circle back to the user part, because actually from the very beginning, I have to talk about the biggest pain point is that actually it's very hard for people to choose the right cheese, when they're like buying something in the groceries. So here I want to divide the experience into two parts. The first one is like the offsite experience. The second one is onsite. So for the offsite is that actually because the first one is like the category is like too much category, so it's like very hard for people to make a choice. And the second one is like because like everyone will have like different preference or taste to the cheese, and also it's very hard for people who is not very familiar with the food industry to read the ingredient and the like read the ingredient and the brand of the cheese. So that will be also a very like big barrier for the users to choose. And the second one is like maybe people have some like language barrier, because like we always have a lot of cheese from all the world. Maybe their ingredient is like written into different language, so maybe they have this kind of issue. So yeah, this is more like the pain points I can think. And then I would like talk about our users. So our users, I'm in the office. The light is automatically turned off. Okay. So from the users, I want to like segmentate our users from the from the I think I want to like categorize our users from the experience with the cheese, with their personal experience with cheese. The first one will be the newbie, which means that we have no, they never have ever like tasted cheese like before. And the second one is that they're maybe they're just like some maybe they have they're the like very they just like they eat cheese not very frequently. They just like maybe they just have taste the cheese or eat cheese per month, and they will not proactively buy cheese by themselves. Maybe they just like eat them in the restaurant or recommend by friends. So this is actually the first two one are not the current buyer of a cheese, and the second one is like the current buyer. We can just say that maybe their medium, like their medium fine of the cheese. Maybe they will have like cheese 3 or 2 times per week. And the first one will be the power user, also super users, which is like the super big fan cheese, big cheese fan, which they cannot live without cheese. They need to eat cheese every day. So I want to like segment, put all the target users in the 4 bucket as our like user segmentation based on their eating experience with cheese. Okay, so far, do you have something on your mind? Do you have something you want to add?
No.
Okay, so if okay, so we already have our like users. So here I just want to focus on the here I just want to like focus on the non-buyer, like the it's like I think it's like the low, like the frequency cheese buyer, which is like they never like which is like I want to like focus on the like the to like target user group. The first one is like the low frequency cheese buyer, which is and the second one is like it's like the median frequency cheese buyer. Because of the following reason. The first one, firstly, is that if for the like the big fan of cheese, actually they will have some like brand of some cheese they are really committed to, so they do not even need our service. And for the newbies, I think there is like a lot of like user, there is the user like the user pool will be very large, and there is a very like larger possibility that the people doesn't like the cheese at all. So that is makes no sense for us to targeting this like on certain user pool. So I just want to focus on the group who has not that much experience eating cheese but still interested in exploring cheese.
Okay, makes sense.
Okay, because they have like because they will have enjoy the much more like possibility to bring us like profit. Okay, so after we have like the user segmentation, I want to like dive more into their like pain point. The first one is like so our goal is like to helping them to making decision. The first one is like offering the first one is like actually there is too much like categories for them to choose, and there is like no helper and or some assistant for them to help them to narrow down the choices. It's like too much choices. And second one is like there is a very high bar to understand the integrate like the material inside the cheese. And the third one is like actually if they are not very familiar with them, there is like there's like a very high possibility that the taste is not matching to their preference. So maybe they will have a very bad impression on cheese, and they will not eat cheese anymore after this like one-time buying. And the last pain point will be if they already have like try some like brand of cheese, they want to explore more. So actually it will be more harder for them to like choose if there is no like cheese expertise friends surrounding them. So yeah, so based on the user pain points, I want to like go deep into the solution. Okay. Okay, so the first one is like too much categories. This first one is like I want to bring other solutions. Like we need to like ask the preference of the users and make the right recommendation for them. And the second, and the for the high bar to understanding the ingredients in the cheese, I would like to say that maybe we can just like create because we are also focusing on the offsite experience. So to make it easier for the users to in the shopping scenario to like solve their problem, I think maybe we need to like we need to build a camera to help users to identify, or like they can just take a photo. We can just automatically show them the ingredient in their preference language. So this solution will be more like camera based. And yeah, the first one will be more like focusing on the recommendation. Like maybe this recommendation will be like based on their connection, if we partnership with their social media, and maybe also because based on the like very short test or preference interview before we can do some private like recommendation. So okay, this is like the two like solution, and the solution will be the third solution will be like maybe we can just create a community for people like we just like call it like cheese community, because I assume we will be if we build a product, it will be a very like broad and very like comprehensive like community. We can just like create different channel of the different food categories. Then maybe there's a channel called like big fan cheese channel, and the people can just like following some like KOL or influencers in there to like maybe to help them to make choice. And this is about the third solution is the community driven product. And this first one, the last one is about like yeah, I think basically this is like the three like the high level direction I want to bring up about the solution. The first one is about doing the recommendation based on their own preference and code, and also like some their like social media's connection. The second one is camera based like more functional product, which can like help the users identify the the factories and all the ingredients in 1 minute when they open their like camera. And the last one will be more community based. So here sorry. So here I would like to pick up one solutions from the three perspective to estimate it. The first one maybe is The first one is like the user value. Second one is the feasibility. The last one maybe is like the technical feasibility. And I would like to say I want to like choose the second one because we are like our like this pinpoint or this scenario is more about offsite. So the second one can directly solve the problem or the issue for the users. So the user's value is the biggest and is like the most like uncommended. And also after that, we can just like combine some other like the community like into the camera based product in the very in the like later in the like second stage of our product roadmap. So and also I would like to say because community will cost more time for us to build. So this is not a very like short time thing. So that's the reason I will not like pick the community. And for the recommendation, this like required a lot of like resources, especially from the technical perspective, because we need to like train the algorithms. And also if we want to utilize the data from the users social media, we need to partnerize or get access with other companies like the Facebook or the Google. It will be more costly for us. So that's the reason I want to narrow down the like the camera based tool firstly, and then maybe in the like more for the roadmap we can consider about the like the other tool. Do you have something on your mind?
I think it's fair enough. Can you talk about the whole user journey? I'm pretty lost here. Like if you talk about if you want to choose camera based app, what is the user flow? What does the user flow look like?
Okay. That's a thing I would want to like talk more about here. So so the first thing the whole user journey map will be like the first one is like they open their app, our app, and like open the camera. It maybe just like get access to the user's phone's camera, and was it just scan the cheese? It will automatically tell the users what is the taste of the cheese and what's the ingredient, and that's like tailored to your preference, because we all know that the foodies will be have a lot of categories. Maybe someone is virgin, maybe someone is the maybe they are like gluten free or some other like personal preference. So it will automatically tell you that this cheese, if this is cheese, this specific cheese is like matching to your own like personal preference. And also after you buy it, you can just like write some review on our app. And also like when people if the people like after the people like using the camera, it will pop up a window with all the detail of the cheese. They will also be a set. They will also like show a section of the other people's reviews, and also the match rate like to your personal taste. So yeah, this is like roughly about the function.
Okay. My understanding is you basically let the user to take a photo of that product, and then like the factors of that cheese will automatically come up, and based on the like different criterias and the matching rate, we could understand the user's preference more and recommend cheese to users.
Yeah.
Okay. Two questions. First one, how can you build your competitive advantage, right? We could assume that there is no competitors in this market, but if you are the first one entering the market, how can you make sure that your competitors are not replicating what you're building right now pretty fast and exceed your current position? First question. And second question is, I remember the goal. Your goal is to increase the revenue for grocery stores. Do you think that your solution can really help them with their revenue?
Okay. Okay. That's very good question. The first one is how can we like build our moat for our product? And second one is like how could we drive the revenue no matter for us and also for the groceries. So for the product mode, I think that so firstly because we have a although like this like the camera based function is not that like moonshot, but because but I do think that it will like hate or solve the problem like the users pain points directly. So I would like to say that in this case the partnership and the partnership will be a more like important resources for us to win the market. If we can be the first one to create this kind of service and build a partnership with other groceries, then we will win the market, right? Okay, and also after we have partnership with all the big groceries, we can like definitely we can just build more interesting and fun functionality like the AI recommendation and all community or even gamification. And yeah, this is like the answer for your first question. The second one is about how could we drive the revenue for our grocery store and for ourselves. So yeah, so I think it's like it's very clear for us to say whether we help the groceries to increase their revenue, because we can just assume that there is a A/B test. It's just that before integrated with our product and after integration with our product, if the groceries GMV is increasing by like several percent, so if it is like increasing, we can definitely say that we can definitely say that our product helps the users to push the users to make the buying decisions. Okay, so this will based on that. So we like eliminated all other factors like the seasonal increase down and up of the buying of the users, and the second one will be how could we like gain revenue for ourselves as a startup. I think yeah, if we actually help the if we actually help the groceries to like make more profit, I think we can just like share some percentage of the profits they made from the groceries. So this is where is our revenue stream from.
Okay. Do you have anything else to add?
No.
Okay. What do you think about your answer?
Okay, I think I kind of like lost after the solutions, because maybe I need to like go more detail into the pain points and following the user journey map, and then bring up some solution mapping to the main pain point. And also because you asked me about my solutions about the camera based like helpers. So if I have more time, I would like to like tell more details about the features and like even about like the user flow and the user interface. Yeah, that's the feedback.
So my feedback is first, you improve your communication again. Your English speaking is better than the last time you came to a mock live. So really appreciate the improvement here. And also great structure. I think you are not sticking to a framework, which is something that I really like. You don't like go through whatever like mission, vision stuff and talk about like user segment, pinpoint, and metrics. That is also something I really like about your answer. I feel like it is a conversation And in that case, I want to give you more input. I want to ask you more relevant questions. I want to give you more opportunities for you to get this job. So I like the way that you communicate with the interviewer. And also, I think a lot of points that you brought up really make sense. For example, first one, the way you do user segmentation basically is based on their experience with cheese and how often they eat cheese, which makes a lot of sense for me. And if you want to dive deeper into the user segmentation, you probably want to talk about like maybe people, basically like you have 3 segments: newbie, casual triers, and big cheese lovers. You probably also want to have like different dimensions if you want to go deeper. For example, if you are talking about casual triers who already have preferences, and they want to try something new, but they don't have enough knowledge about the cheese, then you can probably talk about like, because you talk about like translation of that description on the product, you can talk.
I forgot it.
Yeah, people are not in the same culture, right? Some of them are from Italy, right? Or France. They probably have more context about cheese. But people from people who are Asian probably don't have that much context about cheese, right? So you probably want to divide their culture and have a more detailed user segment. But this is only nice to have. And I also like the solution directions you gave us and how you prioritize different solutions. You talk about getting preferences from social media, camera-based product, and also community-driven product. And eventually you pick the second one, which is more realistic for a startup. And you are more capable of building an MVP to test out the product market fit. So that makes a lot of sense to me. And also, I do see you have a lot of criteria when you do prioritization, but the way that you communicate these criteria really save you a lot of time. And also you talk about the user flow, you kind of follow my direction and talk about how you would want to design this product in more detail. And also talking about competitive advantage, you talk about the partnerships with grocery stores, which make a lot of sense to me. I think these are the good things, and keep up to that. And some of the potential improvements you have, the first one, when I asked you why not having partnership with cheese manufacturers, with cheese factories, the answer is not convincing.
I know.
First, you talk about no, like seriously, like even in the short term, you could have relationship with others, with those companies, right? Because if you think about this, the more complex your partnership is, the better position you are in the market, right? If you have partnership with those cheese manufacturers, you could have just like have recommendations about what cheese manufacturers this grocery store should have, right? Some of the stores like Costco, they probably have a lot of information about the performance of different cheeses, right? But for some of the smaller size grocery stores, they probably don't have that information. And you probably want to be the platform, want to be the one provide the information to those grocery stores. And also to manufacturers, you can also provide new distribution channels for them, right? If they're local, then probably it's very easy for them to find partners. But if they're not local, then they probably also want you to develop partnerships to help them develop partnerships. So you could have just make the partnership more diverse and a stronger relationship. So I think that is something you could have done. And also what other services you could provide, right? You talk about something like building community, but I think something that is easier to do is actually to recommend other products, but are not cheese, right? Because you talk about partnering with grocery stores, and a lot of people eat cheese, and at the same time they have fruits, they have grapes to like eat together with the cheese, and they probably have wine. So you can probably recommend other products with cheese together. So that's why I asked you that question: how could you improve revenue? You need to think about this. you are targeting a very small user segment, right? Like if you think about the people who are really buy cheese from grocery stores, and you are only targeting people who want to try different cheese or not cheese lovers, only the middle segment of the users. And like, how many cheese are they going to buy in a month? How can you improve the grocery store's revenue? Like, it's such a broad question. Like, you could have just talked about something like, I could recommend other products, right? I could help them do better targeting, right? I could even send a delivery to their homes and helping them to deliver cheese. Well, like some solutions, right? It's, only selling cheese is not enough to improve their revenue. That's for sure. So
yeah, that makes sense.
these are the two questions that I think you could still improve on. And when you talk about user segments, you could have talked about more characteristics and of those segments. You probably want to talk about like for the casual triers, they probably, you talk about the frequency of them using cheese, maybe 3 times per month. But like, what about their preferences? Like, do they even know that there are different factors when it comes to choosing cheese, right? Maybe you want to talk about like, they want to try something new, they want to develop it as a new hobby and that's like a new habit, but they don't know how to do it, right? They don't have any information, right? The way I choose cheese, let me tell you how I choose cheese. That's why I find this question so intriguing. First, I just randomly pick up cheese, right? I look at them, I think they look great, so I just like buy them with wine together, right?
Same.
And after trying several of them, I kind of developed my own preference, which cheese I like more. But because of the descriptions on those products are too fucking small, so I need to read into every line of them if I want to try something new. Because when I choose something new, I don't know if it is still like with a similar taste or it is a totally new style. I don't know about that. So I need to read into the description until one day I'm super tired and super sick of reading those small texts. So what I did is to find a video on YouTube about cheese. And I want to seriously know about cheese. What are the different categories? And
Oh, I see.
how should I use them? How should I eat them? What else should I eat with them? And I start to study cheese. And what I find after watching that 2-hour long video, I can't remember anything. Okay, there are so many categories of cheese. Do I need to like take notes of cheese just to want to make better decisions at the grocery store? I don't think so. But how can I use whatever I learned from that video? I just feel so confused. So I think there is a pain point here, right? There are a lot
that makes sense.
to tackle. But when you talk about those pain points and when you talk about user segments, I don't feel that users have the need to have this product, right? If you put your emotions in when you talk about the pain points, right? If you talk about maybe like the details of how you handle the problem, probably the interviewer could be better related. So you need to sell your pain points to the interviewer. And what else? I think that's it. I think this is a very interesting problem to ask, and yeah,
I think so.
Yeah, I think this is a great question, and you could have more like divergent thinking in terms of how you want to develop the partnerships and different pain points. I think like when you talk about pain points, you said they have preference, they want to try new tastes, they don't know how to do it. But I just feel like, isn't it the same pain point with newbie? You know, not that convincing. I couldn't really tell like what's the difference, and yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. I will like think about more about like the pinpoint part after this smoke. So a little like following up question here is like, if an interviewer asks you a follow-up question, does it mean that your performance is not that good? So you force the interviewer to ask you questions.
Oh, no, I don't think so. I think the more interviewer asks me questions, the more they find me more interesting. Like they find my answer more like promising. They want to give me opportunities to talk more about this. Probably the interviewer always have a checklist, right? They have like different criteria to check. And they want to give you the opportunity to talk more. Like if I ask you a question, what question did I ask? Why not cheese manufacturers, right? I want to see whether you have creativities in terms of developing partnerships, which is a very important criteria to have as a growth product manager. And if I talk about like, can you talk more about your camera-based solution, then I probably want to give you an opportunity to go deep into like designing the product and designing the solution for the users. So the more questions the interviewer asks, the better the result will get. The worst interviewer will be just like staring at you and saying no comment. Please continue. I don't have anything to say. I think fair enough. Go on. That's the worst interview I've ever had. Especially when they have poker face. That's the worst. You don't know what they're thinking about, and you don't know like which direction they like more, like whether they find my answer on the right direction. They don't provide any extra information.
Okay, gotcha. So actually, basically, that's a like good indicator for asking a question from the interviewer.
Yeah, the more questions my interviewer asks, the more confident I will be.
Okay, got you. I got you. I just feel like maybe because my answer is too vague, so you ask me questions, so make me more nervous when you ask me the follow-up questions.
No. If I'm really bored, I won't ask you any question. I was just like looking at the clock and thinking about when the interview will be over.
Okay.
Oh, by the way, another thing to add is when I ask you what is your competitive advantage, apart from partnership, another thing you could have talked about is growth. If your startup grow really well, you could have just have a larger market and have a larger percentage of the market in this area. So for example, what if you're not only an app, right? You have more information about cheese, about the user's preference. You could just be, I don't know, a Chrome extension, right? You could just like cheese selector. How about this name, right? You just have a Chrome extension. People, when they choose cheese on Costco.com or Amazon.com, you could just like pop up. Let me tell you more about this cheese. And do you want to really buy it? I can help you prioritize all the cheese, right? You could have those like basically growth hacking solutions to help you acquire more market.
Okay, gotcha.
Swan, Steven.
Oh yeah, just one comment on the pain points for your answer overall. I think it was like the solution ended up being fairly good, but I think it would have helped if you approached looking for your pain points from a user journey point of view, especially because buying cheese is a series of actions, right? As you described, like first I want to recognize that I want to eat a cheese, and then I want to make the decision about what cheese I'm going to get, then I actually get to the grocery store and find the cheese, et cetera, right? So I remember for your pain points, you said, the first one you said there's too many categories. The second one, there's high barriers of entry. So like, because you ended up focusing on there's a high barrier of entry to cheeses, and then the solution you ended up coming up with was like this camera-based product for a grocery store, and then like you're saying, like it would take a picture of the cheese and then it would come back with a thing, which I think in concept sounds good, but in practice, like I don't know if I would use it, just because I don't want to stand around for 5 minutes at the grocery store, taking pictures of 5 different cheeses and reading through all of them. And I think that decision would be better made before you actually get to the grocery store, and you would have recognized that if you had gone with a user journey approach to the pain points.
Yeah. You know how long I stand at the cheese window to decide which cheese I buy?
Like 5 seconds, right? Like
probably 10 minutes. So
do you want to spend 10 minutes though? You don't want to spend 10 minutes, right?
I don't want to spend 10 minutes there. I feel I'm so
there we go. Yeah, see, that's the pain point.
yeah.
Yeah, I think like Swan really bring up a very good question to discuss. And it will be totally like two different of user flow. And some people will enjoy like making choice, just standing there. And some people will just a very fast buyer because they are time limited. So I think I need to like identify what is the goal or pinpoint, what is their time um, availability of the users.
And
Yeah,
another, I think you could have talk about in your solution is you talk about the different criteria to prioritize cheese categories, right? You could have just make it more specific because like probably you want to talk about like we could recommend like the softness of cheese, like how long does it take to manufacture that cheese, and like whether it tastes a little bit salty or it is more like milky, or you could have say because these people don't have that much information about cheese, we could just simply select a scenario where they want like which they're preparing for. Probably you're looking for wine and cheese night with your lover, then we have something for you, right? If you are looking for a party with a bunch of friends, we have something for you. So you could have like more creativity in this criteria, and the interviewer will see like, okay, you actually think about a lot of like decision making scenarios, and that is where you can shine in your solution.
Yeah. So like the last thing I want to bring up in this like mock is that I think the essential of this question is we have 2 points. The first one is how could we deliver like the information of cheese to our users without like friction, like frictionlessness. And the second one is like how could we like help people to make decision? Like how could it be a good helper to help people to make better decisions? So actually, I think that can be applied to a lot of product design questions. So really, thanks for JG's time to having a mock interview with me and really good good feedback. Just like could like on our YouTube channel. Yeah, thanks.
No problem. Stop here.